All rise, please. For the count session. Honorable Carol, Lucio Society. Please be seated. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Everybody can be seated. Judge Page, before we get started.
Good morning. It's my privilege and honor to bring two songs. The first is going to be the Star Spangled Banner. I'll end with another one at the close of the ceremony. I was asked to sing both of these, so I hope they land on fertile ground. Lend me your ears, the Star Spangled Banner. Oh, say, can you see where the dawn's early light was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watch, we're so gallantly streaming, and the rockets roll the bombastic gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does the Star Spangled Banner for the land of the free and the home of the brave, the brave.
Thank you, Judge Page. What an amazing way to start this ceremony. We are blessed indeed to have you join us and to give us that great opening. I want to wish each of you a good morning and welcome to our beautiful, is this not on? It says it's on. No, can you hear me? Okay, I want to welcome you to our beautiful ceremonial courtroom, Courtroom A, for this joyous occasion. We're here to mark an important transition in the work of our court, the swearing in of a new jury commissioner and the retention of a second. In addition, we're recognizing the service that's brought us to this moment. First, I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize the presence of this amazing man to my right, Justice Kevin Dougherty of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, who will be administering the oath of office to our new jury commissioner-elect. I want to welcome you, and we're thrilled to have you. It certainly is an honor. There are other distinguished guests present, and I'm going to allow our next speaker to introduce each of you individually and personally. But before we proceed, I'm going to acknowledge Joanne Olszewski, who served this county as jury commissioner for 20 years. She carried out this role with loyalty, professionalism, and a strong sense of humor. Right? These are qualities that make a demanding job both effective and human. On behalf of our entire court and the people of this county, thank you, Joanne, for your dedicated service. We will indeed miss you. Miss Baptiste, the jury commissioner plays a vital role in our justice system. Jury service is one of the most direct ways the public participates in the courts, and the fairness of that process depends on careful, non-political, and thoughtful administration. And at this point, I will turn the microphone over to Alexander Baptiste Esquire, who is Jury Commissioner-elect Baptiste's niece, for welcoming remarks.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Very exciting day. As said, my name is Alex Baptiste, and today I have the immense privilege of not only being your mistress of ceremonies, but also of being Andrea Baptiste's niece. So shout out for nepotism. I'm very excited to welcome you all here today on what is certainly for our family, and I like to think also for Montgomery County, a very exciting day. Along with swearing in Merry Broderick Woods, today we are swearing in my Aunt Ree to be Jury Commissioner of Montgomery County and the first Black woman to ever hold the position. This is truly a wonderful outcome and moment for someone who has dedicated so much of her life to local politics and fighting, for representation and equality. Some here may know that, like my Aunt Ree, my career path has also led me to public service and working on behalf of communities and advocating for equal justice. It was my aunt who truly first sparked my love of civics. We have together frustrated many Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner tables by diving deep into politics and policy, talking through the challenges we face as a society and opportunities we see for improvement. Everything you should not be talking about at a Christmas or Thanksgiving dinner table. With her and my parents' encouragement, I ultimately channeled those interests towards law school so that I could be the advocate that I am today. And I thank her for that encouragement. It was from my Aunt Ree that certain principles were instilled in me that I live and work by to this day. For instance, civic engagement, fair and free elections, and an unbiased judiciary are cornerstones of our democracy. And a trial by an impartial jury of one's peers is a constitutional right that should never be infringed upon. Maintaining truth, integrity, and fairness in our judicial process has become even more crucial these last few years. In a 2019 case, Flowers v. Mississippi, the Supreme Court wrote, quote, "Other than voting, serving on a jury is the most substantial opportunity that most citizens have to participate in the democratic process," end quote. Serving on a jury empowers ordinary citizens to become instruments of public justice in their own communities. It contributes to our system of checks and balances, providing people with a voice in the judicial process, and was included deliberately by the founding fathers as a means of preventing tyranny and keeping power with the people. As such, it is paramount that those tasked with engaging community participation in the jury process represent the values and norms of their community and are committed to upholding the tenets of our democracy, thereby creating a fairer and more equitable judicial system for all who will navigate it. I want to acknowledge the important roles that Andrea and Mary hold within our community and judicial functions and congratulate them on such an impressive achievement. I would now like to take a moment to introduce some of our distinguished guests who are joining us here today. As previously mentioned, Justice Kevin Dougherty from the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, the Honorable Tracy Penachuk, the Pennsylvania Senator from the 24th Legislative District, Judge Carolyn Carluccio, the President Judge of the 38th Judicial District, Neil Makija, Montgomery County Commissioner Chair, Jamila Winder, Montgomery County Commissioner Vice Chair, Thomas DeBello, Montgomery County Commissioner, Jane Olszewski, a retiring jury commissioner for Montgomery County, Michael Case, Montgomery County Court Administrator, Jason Salas, Montgomery County Democratic Committee Chair, Christian Nascimento, Montgomery County Republican Committee Chair, as well as our Montgomery County row of officers, excuse me. Thank you all very much for being here. We appreciate your presence on such a wonderful day. And with that, I'm going to turn things over to Justice Kevin Dougherty for some remarks.
Good morning, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to be here in this magnificent courthouse, and more so to celebrate the oaths of the commissioners. It's interesting. I had the, let me begin by saying this last year has been very interesting. I had to campaign. Many of you may not know, but judges are like cicadas. We come out every decade. And during that course, I was required to travel across Pennsylvania. Being just your neighbor to the south in Philadelphia, I had the pleasure of visiting Montgomery County to the point where it became my second home. Through it all, I met some wonderful people who will be friends of mine forever, despite meeting them in the political atmosphere. I only have one more day for politics, and then I go back underground and just protect the Constitution. But the reality is, during my campaign, I had the absolute pleasure of meeting your commissioner. When I heard of her biography and read about her biography, I was amazed that this woman has dedicated herself continually and solely to the welfare of the common good for the community called Montgomery County. And today, I'm extra honored to be able to provide the oath to the woman who is now deserving of that position. It's interesting, when you read her biography or you meet her outside of that, the incredible smile, the warm feeling you get from her incredible smile. And I used to joke that many times I was in Montgomery County of her amazing style. She looked like she walked out of the Vogue magazine. But what I did learn is through the course of her life, and I'm looking forward to this in the jury commission, is that she has made change. And interestingly, it was her leadership skill where she made change not by insisting it or permitting it or forcing it upon the people of the Commonwealth, the county of Montgomery County, but with them. And as our PJ said, and it's an absolute pleasure to sit next to my close friend, your president judge. But as the PJ said, you commissioners, your job is very similar to ours. You're here to protect the constitutional right to a jury. That's something that I've learned through this arduous campaign. Many people don't understand. Throughout this past year, I was flummoxed, concerned, at times even somewhat saddened that the majority of Pennsylvanians know more of the names of the Kardashian sisters than they do any judge in any court that they sit. Yet we judges are the protector of the rights, and those rights, or your liberty and your freedoms, are only protected by your constitutional right to a jury, which is why your position, while maybe a named commissioner, jury commissioner, I want everyone to understand the depth of this position. You truly are the protector and the keeper of Montgomery County's due process issues. The fact that we have two magnificent individuals who are now willing to serve the people only makes us, through the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, that much stronger. So today it's an absolute honor and a privilege, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. One, for embracing me on my tour back into Montgomery County during an election. But two, standing beside me and inviting me to take part in your special ceremony. It's an honor. Congratulations. I wish you both well and Happy New Year.
Thank you, Justice Doherty. We are indeed blessed to have you here. I think next we'll ask Miss Joanne Oswald. Oh my gosh, and I know your name. We'll ask our former jury commissioner to come on out. Yeah, Joanne Olszewski. We're related, believe it or not. Do I admit that, Joanne?
Well, good morning, everyone. Well, first, I would like to say good morning to Justice Kevin Doherty. So good to see you. Our President Judge, Carolyn Tornetta Carluccio. Elected officials, I see we have some row officers over here, and of course, Judge Page. Jury commissioners, family and friends. It's unusual for an outgoing jury commissioner to get up and speak at a swearing-in ceremony of the new jury commissioners, and I appreciate the powers that be, and especially Andrea, for asking me to say a few words. I'm not going to talk about the past 20 years, which I can't believe they've just flew by. I want to tell you a little story though. Many decades ago, I lived in Maryland. I worked for a Maryland state senator. And during the course of working for him, I did some campaign work for a United States senator from Maryland, Paul Sarbanes. And as a thank you, he invited me to come down to Washington, D.C. to have lunch with himself and his wife, Christine, in the Senate dining room. And of course, I went because it was an honor, and of course, it was a pleasure to go. We walked into the Senate dining room, and we were being seated, and the other United States senator from Maryland came walking over. His name was Senator Charles Mack Mathias, and he had a luncheon guest with him, and he asked if they could join us at our table. And this was the day that Senator Mathias introduced me to Justice Thurgood Marshall. It was a day that I never forgot in my whole life, and I didn't think about it actively until last week when Andrea asked me if I would speak, and I thought, gosh, I went from meeting a justice of the Supreme Court so many decades ago, and here 20 years have gone by, and I'm turning the page, and I'm so happy that I'm turning the page. I have a few thank yous. One, President Judge Carluccio, thank you so much for your friendship and your judicial skills. Michael Case, where is Michael? Michael's in the back of the room. Michael is our court administrator, and I want to thank Michael especially for his professionalism and his patience with me. I want to thank the jury board, First Deputy Marge Cesar, who's standing in the back, my second deputy, Liz Gerstein, and Patty Gilbert, Kathy Harwick, and Kathleen Tominski, the staff. If you have a good staff, you really look good. And I had the best staff in the world in the courthouse. And I want to thank you so much for that. One of the reasons that I brought up the name of Thurgood Marshall was because I wanted to say this quote: where you see wrong or inequality or injustice, speak out, because this is your country. This is your democracy. Make it, protect it, pass it on. Now, I know that he wasn't referring to me passing on a position to Andrea. He was referring to our democracy, which right now is, I want to say, under siege, but by the same token, I've never felt more optimistic and hopeful because of the judiciary that we have, whether it is a county courtroom, and there are courtrooms all over the United States of America where citizens come to do their duty as jurors. I want to say one little thing to Andrea. Andrea and I share the same birthday. So we're sort of sisters by another mother, I guess. I don't know. But Andrea, I know you're going to do a wonderful job, and I'm so pleased and I'm so proud that you are going to be taking over. I don't even want to look at Merry because I'll start crying. Merry and I have been together for 12 years, and as all of you know, we're a little different than the regular row officers who have their own offices and stuff. We are in the same room. We are 3 feet apart. So for 12 years, you really get to know someone. Merry, thank you for everything. There are 2 women that I also want to mention today, and they are warrior women. And without their participation in life, we would not be here today honoring Andrea and Merry. The first person I want to say something to is Betty Broderick, the mother of Merry Broderick Woods. who has just been an amazing mom to so many children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. And she has had the privilege of witnessing life for more than 9 decades. Thank you. Because without you, we would not have Murray. The other woman is not with us today. And I only have a very tiny picture of her, and that is Andrea's mother, Joan Tolliver. Who is Andrea's mom. And even though she's not here today, Andrea, I know she is looking down and she is beaming and she is so proud of your accomplishments. So today I honor both of you, and I know that the county is going to benefit from your skills, your professionalism, and your caring hearts. Thank you. And it's been a pleasure to serve for 20 years. Thank you.
Hard to follow that. So next we are going to invite up to the microphone Pamela Margolis, Perkins Township Supervisor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Running for political office is not easy. There are many phone calls and meetings to attend. Those of you who have campaigned understand the commitment and the drive needed to do this work. Traversing Montgomery County this year, Andrea Baptiste has connected with committee people, community members, and voters. Whether at the Carousel in Pottstown, an elementary school in Souderton, or a firehouse in Rockledge, Andrea is going to make a connection and a friend. She is approachable. Her work experience reveals a breadth of knowledge that she skillfully infuses into her interactions. Speaking with Andrea, you will learn something. Whether discussing the merits of the Trojan horse, as it relates to a school board race, to the price of eggs, and the stock market, a chat with Andrea Baptiste will be informative, uplifting, and strategic. She will bring these gifts and her countless abilities to the jury commissioner job. May I present to you Andrea Baptiste.
Yeah, you're next. Do the oath.
At this point, I would like to welcome Justice Doherty as well as Chris Baptiste, Andrea's brother, as we have the oath.
I'll get down there again.
And swear her in.
Please raise your right hand and put your left hand on the Bible. Repeat after me. I. Therefore, that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Congratulations.
Morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here today to share this time with me and my family, not just the Baptiste and the Landons, but the Collegeville family that I have grown with over the years, and a special friend from my time in the real estate business, Janine Carlton, who is here this morning. I want to extend a special and heartfelt thank you to Justice Kevin Dockery. It is a special honor to have you here today to deliver the oath of office for my first term as jury commissioner from Montgomery County. I am deeply grateful for your time and for the gravity you bring to this occasion. I happily extend my heartfelt thanks to Joanne Olszewski. She is a longtime friend, mentor, and I love her and appreciate her for all that she has done for me, taught me, and worked with me to get through. Her exemplary service to Montgomery County is unmatched. Her tenure as jury commissioner has been outstanding and will endure as the blue ribbon standard for service to our community. I will certainly endeavor to sustain her legacy and serve the office and the citizens of Montgomery County with the same veracity, decorum, and fairness. And you scooped me because I was going to let folks know that, yes, we do share that April 16th birthday. For whatever good that means. And I also want to thank the voters and the citizens of Montgomery County for the trust you have placed in me. It is my distinct honor to have been elected to serve every member of this community. Montgomery County is one among only 3 in the Commonwealth that is fortunate to have 2 elected jury commissioners and a jury board. Once again, Montgomery County's legacy of good government demonstrates how it values the quality of life for its citizens by providing a valuable service, or particularly this valuable service. I hold the responsibilities of this office of jury commissioner and the jury board in the highest regard. My goal is to build upon the foundation laid by those who have served before me, carrying out this work with unwavering integrity, dignity, and a commitment to support all who engage with the jury board. Small everyday interaction with good government is the foundation of restoring civic engagement. I look forward to the opportunity of working with Commissioner Woods, First Deputy Margie Cesar, Second Deputy Liz Gerstein, and the entire staff in order to educate the county about the importance of serving on the jury, obviously continuing to uphold the 6th Amendment of our Constitution, continuing to provide good customer service, because we are in the customer service business. We serve the residents, constituents, voters, family, friends, and relatives. And it is also important for us to continue to communicate effectively with the intersecting offices throughout Montgomery County, the row officers who also serve our residents and our citizens, all of our constituents. We often hear the jury system described as the bulwark of our democracy. In the context of our current times, that decision has never been more relevant. Our task is to reinforce trust in our democratic institutions, and that trust starts with the jury. A just future begins with everyday people stepping into their power. Serving on a jury is certainly one of the most significant ways that our relatives, friends, neighbors, and voters can step into their power, reinforce the 6th Amendment, and serve their community. In the American legal system, a jury's verdict is sacrosanct. This means it is highly respected. It is a decision that should not be lightly overturned or disregarded. This principle isn't just a legal rule, it is a reflection of our fundamental belief that a trial by peers should always be considered, as per Thomas Jefferson, and I quote, as the only anchor ever yet imagined by man by which a government can be held to the principles of its constitution, end quote. So in closing, I would like to offer this. By protecting the jury process, we protect justice itself. I look forward to serving Montgomery County and ensuring that our jury system remains a fair, inclusive, and trusted pillar of our community, our Commonwealth, and our society. Thank you again for your trust, your support, and for joining me on this journey.
Thank you, Andrea. We look forward to working with you and welcoming you to the court. Ms. Baptiste.
Thank you. Yes, at this time, I would like to offer the podium to the Honorable Tracy Pettichuk, the Pennsylvania Senator for the 24th Legislative District, to introduce Merry Broderick Woods.
Thank you and good morning. Good morning, Justice Doherty. Good morning, President Judge Carluccio, Commissioner Wagner, and other distinguished friends and family. It is my great honor to be here today. And today's really about one thing. It is about service. Public service doesn't always come with applause and headlines. In fact, some of the most important work is done quietly in the background, carried out by people who simply want to step up because they care about their community and believe in the system that we've built. And that's exactly the kind of service that we're talking about today. Trial by jury is one of the cornerstones of our democracy. It is a right guaranteed by both the United States Constitution and the Constitution of Pennsylvania, and it reflects a powerful idea that justice is not something imposed from above, but something shaped by our fellow citizens. But that right only works if the system behind it works well. And that's why the role of jury commissioner is so important. The jury commissioner helps ensure that every resident of Montgomery County is treated fairly in the jury selection process, that juries are representative, and that the rights of citizens are respected every step of the way. It's detailed, careful work. And when it's done right, most people never even think about it, which is often the mark of excellent public service. Merry Broderick Woods has chosen to take out this responsibility, and in doing so has chosen to serve Montgomery County in a really meaningful way. This role requires patience, a deep respect for fairness, and those qualities are so essential in maintaining the public trust in our justice system. What I admire most about positions like this is they reflect the heart of public service. It's not about the recognition. It's making sure that our institutions function like they should, so that when someone's rights are on the line, the system is ready and worthy of that trust. Mary, Andrea, thank you for stepping up and taking the oath today. Montgomery County is stronger because of you two ladies and the work that you're willing to do, and our justice system will be better for it. Congratulations on your swearing in, but also congratulations on what you bring to the table outside of your professional role. The mother of 8, the grandmother of 3, the daughter of a lovely woman, Betty Broderick. It's that background that brings so much to this role and this position, and it gives me great confidence in knowing that Montgomery County is in really good hands, ladies. And let's just note something for a moment. Ladies, 2 ladies getting the job done. Congratulations, ladies. I'm very proud of you and Happy New Year.
Mary, you can come up with your mother, Betty. Betty, you got a big job here. Now hold this. I thank you all for being here today. I think we're going to close with Judge Page. Oh, sorry.
I know. You thought I couldn't stop crying, but we'll try. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Andrea and I are delighted that you're here. Welcome Supreme Court Justice Kevin Doherty, our President Judge Carolyn Carluccio, Michael Case, our County Commissioner Jamila Winder, my wonderful partner of 12 years, I'm going to cry again, Joanne Sisko-Olszewski, Judge Garrett Page, wonderful singer, my fellow row officers, Jason Salas, Lori Schreiber, and Bob Hart. Beloved family and friends, thank you again for being here. New glasses. To piggyback on the theme of public service, I see it more as a family legacy because public service is rarely the work of one person alone. More often, it is a learned value from home, shaped by example, carried forward across generations. I have 4 generations with me here today. My mother, my sister Liz, my brother-in-law Pierce, my 2 grandchildren, and 3 of my 8 children. 4 of them went up to the Eagles game and came back sick. So sitting in the rain in Buffalo, we'll do that. But in our family, service is a tradition. The lesson is simple but powerful. Community matters, and that each of us has responsibility to contribute to the greater good. These lessons are not taught through speeches or instructions, but through lives lived with purpose. Through time given freely, responsibilities accepted willingly, and work done with integrity. When public service runs in a family, it reflects a shared belief that participation strengthens democracy and that progress depends on ordinary people stepping forward when they are needed. Whether service takes place in the military, as Senator Penny Cook has committed her life to for our country, and my father was a World War II veteran. He married my mother shortly thereafter. They were married for 67 years before he passed. So it's just a wonderful example. Their service in the courtroom, the classroom, local government, or volunteer organizations. The common thread is a commitment to others. Many of our families here understand that service often requires sacrifice, and that may go unrecognized, but it endures because the reward is not personal acclaim, but the knowledge that one has contributed to something larger than oneself. Each generation that chooses public service honors the one before it, not by imitation alone, but by renewing the promise that responsibility does not end with success and privilege carries an obligation to give back. In this way, public service becomes more than a career or a role. It becomes a family value, a shared language of duty and care for the community. Thank you, Mom, for that life. I also have to, I'm going to cry because we're going to miss Joanne terribly, even though we're thrilled to have Andrea join us. But I want to thank also my courthouse family and the most wonderful staff, and also all the judges and row officers. What happens very often when people come in for jury duty, their life comes with them. So if they're upset about something, they're worried, they don't have anyone to turn to. And if I'm standing there, they'll ask me their questions. And for 12 years, I followed through with judges and row officers to help people in dire straits. And for 12 years, those people have said, yes, they've done it, and they've done the work without complaint. Well, not to my face anyway, but they did the job. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. Thank you for my children, especially Sean, Elise, Michael, Laura, Brendan, Brian, Kevin, and Tommy, who for all these years have done all of the dreaded but necessary work that a campaign requires. So thank you all. God bless America. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Mary. Now we will have Judge Page.
Before I sing this next song, I need to recognize my friend and colleague, Justice Doherty, who's heard me sing many times, and my friend and colleague, PJ Carluccio, at the helm. And this next song was specifically requested by Mary because she said it's her mother's favorite song. Is that right? How Great Thou Art, one of them. And I imagine that Commissioner Baptiste, whose, I think, niece goes to Salem Baptist Church, or somebody, your relative, And where I go to Salem, I'm a deacon there, and so I think she will be undergirded by this same song of how great thou art. So I'm gonna ask you to lend me your ears and let these words fall fresh upon the leadership that has now been commissioned to do the good works. As jury commissioners, you're gonna need these words. Lend me your ears. Oh Lord, my God, when in awesome wonder consider all the works thy hands have made. I see the stars, I hear the thunder rolling, thy power throughout the universe displays. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. When Christ shall come with shout of acclamation and take me home, what joy shall fill my heart. Then I shall bow in humble adoration and there proclaim, my God, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art, how great thou art, how great thou art.
Thank you, Judge Page, once again. Court is adjourned, and you are all welcome to join the new jury commissioners for a small reception in the jury marshalling room. Thank you so much.